I'm great fortunate for me that I'm the front of this a galaxy of stars of architects, designers, planners, and colonizers, my doctors, colleagues, my friends. As you all know, a few couple of months before, the developed countries were in the race of atomic power, nuclear power, and becoming to be world leader. But just a small virus has changed all the scenario. They all knows that the current life scenario is not sustainable in this planet. So the first and foremost thing is that we have to reset, we have to rebuild, we have to reshape, and we have to redefine our health infrastructure system. A few decades before, we all have experienced all these epidemics like smallpox, plague, Ebola, and this swine flu, and this time COVID. And what next? We don't know the geographical diversity of our country that we have having the different, the main 70 to 80% of the health services are provided by the small hospitals. So there must be a connecting link, a strong bonding between the clinics, small hospitals, corporate hospitals, and the government hospitals. So by this communication skill, we can build up our health infrastructure system. Today, we are just going to discuss about what these are the challenges we faced this COVID era, and what we can plan or what we can improvise our setups so that we can deal with such type of the epidemic in next time in a very smoother way. So what I thought in this hospital setups, the first and foremost thing is there should be a buffer zone or a sanitization zone. As the patient or his attendants enters into the hospital, there must be some zone like the buffer zone. The patient should turn around a 360-degree, and there should be head to toe sanitization of his whole body. Secondly, generally in our OPD or lobby or reception lobby, we should install the vending machines like the mask and the gloves vending machines, so that can be easily available for the patient. Second, in the OPDs, as the patients in the OPD chambers, there should be foot operated sanitizer stands so that the patient can use just before entering to the OPD chambers, he can sanitize his own hands. The for this era, what we important things we learn, we have to promote to avoid the crowding in our OPD. We have to promote the online appointment and time slot consultation. This is very important. By this, we can reduce the crowding in our OPD. Second thing is that this telemedicine and the video consultation, it is one of the important technological tool which we experience. It's a very wonderful. About 50 to 60% of our patients can take the video consultation very easily, and their problems can be solved by the telephonic consultation. So it is also one of the very important which we have to indulge in our routine practice. For this, I request our infrastructures builders, our OPD should be properly internet connected, and there should be audio visual equipments and the monitors. They should be so easily so that we can do it in a very routine way. Next, how we can maintain the social distance in our OPD. We can install some color coding floor tiles. By this, we can tell the patients very easily so that they can maintain the social distancing of 2 meters. Similarly, we can do it by the barricading or by the some cubicles. Next, the important thing is that in reception, we have to segregate the patients, which is a contagious or respiratory infectious patients, or which can contaminate the other patients. So this segregation is very important at the primary level. And by this, we can isolate the normal other illness patients, and this is infectious patients. Next, our OPD chambers, in which we are regularly seeing the patients, must be sucked the regular airs at the regular intervals. Means there must be some air purifier or air filters. So it is on an hourly basis pay. It can suck all the airs which the patients are coming and frequently visiting to the doctors. Secondly, we can sterilize the OPD chamber by the infrared light after completing the 1 day of the OPD. Next, we can sanitize the reception. We can sanitize the doorknobs, our tables, floors by the mopping with the hypochlorite solution, which we have to be in the daily practice. And the most important thing is that in every small hospital or large hospital, we have to be a isolation ward. In isolation ward, there are the three types of the patients. If you think it's a general or less symptom patients or very early stage patients, we can keep it a COVID care unit. If the patient is developing symptoms more severe, that patients are known as the moderate patients. And these patients are known for the dedicated COVID health centers. And third, the severe patient which needs the ICU care or the ventilator cares that went to the dedicated COVID hospitals. So these are the demarcation is very important so that we can link the patients, we can diagnose the patient, and we can properly refer the patient to the timely at the right place. Second thing is that in our isolation ward, there must be good inflow of the sunlight and it should be well ventilated. Centrally air conditioned because sometimes you have to use the PP kits and for the longer time, so it's feasible for us if the whole hospital is centrally air conditioned. And there should be the multiple operation theaters so that we can sterilize one if the other is going for the operation. And we are also practicing the early discharge of the patients. At this type of the patients which are going to the discharge, we are managing them at the home with a remote controlling system. So these are the fewer changes if we apply in our day-to-day routine practice. So I think we can manage the these epidemic eras in very smoother way.